Welcome, everyone. It is In the Weeds. It is Wednesday, April 17th. I am Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3 doing the Carlton over here. We appreciate you guys joining us here on this beautiful, hopefully it's beautiful wherever you're at, Wednesday morning. It's time to allegedly get in the weeds. I don't know what we do on this show anymore, but SP3 is here for the second to last time, and then he's never coming back on this show. How you doing, buddy?
It's the penultimate episode of SP3 on In the Weeds. Thank y'all for liking the videos in the past. You know, I appreciate the support that will go to the SP3 fund as I go off on retirement and go to Florida with my family. But we are here on In the Weeds. You need a fired up SP3 intro. Here I am because I am here today to talk about some professional wrestling. We got Rhea Ripley relinquishing and vacating a WWE Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan possibly turning heel. Because of that, you got Chad Gable turning heel on the show. You also got him and Sami Zayn having a New Japan Pro Wrestling main event on Monday Night Raw, and Sami Zayn with the greatest entrance in Monday Night Raw history. Then last night on NXT, we had Trick and Mello inside of a steel cage, the penultimate episode before spring breaking. Like, they're gonna break me off of here after Friday.
SP3, no one cares about wrestling. Who cares? Let's talk about what everybody really wants to talk about. There it is. Play-in champions. Kobe would be ashamed to call himself play-in champion.
Better.
Have some shame. Have some shame, play-in champions. Congratulations to your Lakers. They nearly blew an 18-point lead, but Zion faked an injury to secure the 8th seed to make sure that they didn't have to play the Nuggets in the first round. He had to fake a leg injury to go out of the game. Brandon Ingram, I don't know what's up with him. Laker great, former Laker great. Brandon Ingram benched in the fourth quarter. But the Lakers got the 7th seed. You got the Nuggets in the first round. Good luck with that. And my Thunder will play either the Kings or the Pelicans in the first round against Dynasty. I gotta get somebody to move these games around. NBA playoffs start this weekend, NHL playoffs start this weekend, and they're forcing me to work. I'm expected to watch wrestling as the playoffs start, and I got 2 teams in the playoffs. Get out of here. I ain't watching wrestling.
3 hours of AEW on Saturday. You got TNA Rebellion. Then you got the first 4 games of the playoffs. You also then got on Sunday, you got more playoff action with the other 4 games in the first round. And then you also got AEW Dynasty. How about it? This is the life we chose.
I ain't watching Dynasty. I'm watching the playoffs. I don't care about wrestling. I don't.
He was like, I already know my favorite's gonna lose, so I'm not watching.
Yeah, Danielson's probably gonna lose. He always loses unless Will Ospreay does the right thing and goes into business for the business and loses like he should. But I ain't watching Dynasty. I know why Soulable. I got a monitor here, I got a monitor here, got a monitor over there, got a monitor right there. I got plenty of monitors.
Come on, man. You know you're not being honest to the people. I was up on here and I questioned your whiteness on this channel.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to be watching Dynasty to see Swerve Strickland become the first ever AEW, African-American AEW world champion. You want to see Will Nightingale become TBS champion, and then you'll turn it off because you don't care about the whiteys.
I assume your whiteness. Well, I mean, Willow is beating a goth. They're not white. And Swerve's beating a Samoan.
Man, goth is as white as you can get. I've never met a black goth.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like its own thing, goth. You know? Like,
I didn't know goth was a race.
Yeah.
Or it's skin color.
They're the goth kids in South Park. They're not called the white kids. They're called the goth kids.
This is true.
Yeah, goth is pale. We don't claim pale.
They lost their white card. You're too pale.
Yeah. We don't claim that. I'll be watching Dynasty. It's part of my job, but I gotta watch the 3-hour press conference that goes on after Dynasty as well. I'll be in a fine mood if the Thunder win on Sunday. I don't know when the Avs play. I think the Avs their series is gonna start on Sunday as well. I'm either gonna be like super miserable, or I guess it could go either half and half, or I'll be in a really good mood and Tony can talk for 5 hours on Sunday. I'm like, yeah, keep talking, Tony. Great. I got nothing better to do. My team's won in the playoffs. Talk as long as you want. But if they lose and I got to listen to Tony talk for 5 hours, I'm going to send some very angry messages to people. I'm like, I just want to sleep. I just want to crawl in a hole. I don't feel like listening to you. Great question. No comment. Great question. No comment. Great question. Wish I could talk about that. No comment. Great question. Made a lot of sense. Watch AEW Dynamite tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, or I guess on Wednesday. We had a great show tonight, AEW Dynasty, the biggest AEW Dynasty ever. That was a fantastic show. It was one of the best pay-per-views we've ever done all year. Great question. I'm really proud to have Swerve here as the new world champion. Swerve's been a great asset here to AEW, and I think it was only fitting that AEW Dynasty, he was crowned the new AEW world champion. That was a great decision by me, Tony Khan. I made that decision. I booked it. Tony Khan was taking credit for good booking ideas long before Paul Levesque was on every show. Be like, look how great of a I loved on Monday.
I know my favorite bit was the Tony Khan deflect when it was a bad booking idea, like the Satam Singh debut. It was like, we had a guy of 30 years of experience who said it was a good idea, so we went with it, and it was what it was. And I was like, you just buried Chris Jericho, so you literally just did a 30-year anniversary for Chris Jericho right before this.
My favorite bit on Monday was when old Paul comes out and it's like, R-Truth, I was really happy you got your moment at WrestleMania. It's like, were you? Who booked that? Paul? Who gave him that moment? All right. Oh, yeah. That was a great decision, Paul. Fucking Alex. Oh no, I'm past 5 minutes. Okay. I'm good. He's Alex like Rodriguez over here kissing himself in the mirror. That's what I think of whenever Paul does that stuff. Just that Alex Rodriguez mirror picture. Amazing.
I just
R-Truth, you really deserved that WrestleMania moment. I was so happy for you. That was a great moment in WrestleMania history. All right, I did that for you. Please praise me.
Thank me.
Please praise. Bow down to the Paul. Amazing.
The Paul Triple H Levesque era. I don't remember the Vince McMahon era. They never named it that. They always named it something, Just like
they can't. He doesn't exist. He's redacted.
Oh yeah, that's redacted. True. That's true. It wasn't the Stephanie McMahon era when she was the head of the creative.
That was the
McMahon-Helmsley regime. Yeah, she's always had to share it with somebody. Stephanie was in charge of creative before.
Chi-Town Spurs leaves us a super chat. Guys, you can leave us a super chat. You can leave us a thumbs up on the video. You can subscribe to the channel if you'd like to do that as well. Chi-Town Spurs says, Triple H be all up in the videos and dancing.
He is. I mean, both him and Tony have some Diddy tendencies.
Jared saying, did we have named eras after the Attitude Era? Yeah, the Ruthless Aggression era was definitely an era name. There was the PG era. Everybody just said like the pandemic era was one. They tried to get
before the pandemic era was the reality era. When Shane came back, that was the name of that new era. When they said it was a new era.
I don't feel like the reality era really got over.
No, it didn't.
I feel like it was still just always the PG era. Yeah. Now it's the Renaissance era, according to Cody.
No, it's the Paul Levesque era.
I said according to Cody. Cody still calls it the Renaissance era. According to others, it's the Triple H or the Paul Levesque era. It'll be the Netflix era in a few months. I guess really more like eight months. So the Undisputed era.
Yeah, that was in NXT. Yeah, that's true. But hey, I'm all for, a new era, and they prove that it is going to be some differences, but I just don't need to hear it every single show. Just like with AEW, I don't need to hear this is
Oh,
AEW. We're the best wrestle.
here's a good drinking game for everybody tonight. Every time you hear where the best wrestle, take a drink. See how long it takes you to get drunk.
I'm gonna do it.
Because I swear on Saturday,
It was a lot of times.
oh, it was a lot. Like Tony Schiavone was saying it in every single segment. I'm like, all right, buddy, I get it. I do. So yeah, tonight, if you want to try to drink, if you're just bored at home, you wanna drink, take a drink every time you hear we're the best wrestle. You'll be drunk by the women's match at 9:30. I promise you. Promise you.
You're probably right. Like it is a lot of times, and I want you to do the same thing on Friday with SmackDown. Every time they say it's a new era, and see how long you last. Like it's like these two companies are hitting us over the head with their promotion and their slogans right now.
Like I get it. I'm used to it with WWE. Like it's just become ingrained. In AEW, it feels it's weird. I don't know how much I like it. One, I don't think I'm not like the biggest fan of the slogan, so maybe that's why I'm just annoyed by it.
I think that they are trying to do it kind of as their WCW with the big boys play.
Oh, it is.
But they're not going about it the same way that WCW did. WCW didn't have everybody say it in the promos. They just ran commercials. Just run a commercial. AEW, we're the best wrestler. Have a couple of, you can have all the wrestlers you want to say the whole line, but having it kind of forced in to every single promo, it was a little bit glaring and a little bit annoying on Saturday.
It's also like where the best wrestle, where the big boys play was a stupid line, but whatever. Like, look at the adjective play. You're right. You're right that like it wasn't.
Look at the adjective. Never cease to pop. Not poppy.
You're right in that like the wrestlers weren't saying it all the time. Like Kevin Nash made fun of it, and then they basically dropped it after that anyway. Because they're like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't go with this.
It was really also commentary tough. That would say it all the time. It was Dusty.
Yeah. It's also tough when you keep saying like we're the best wrestle, and then you give us matches like Billy Gunn and Jay White. You know,
PTSD.
It's tough.
PTSD
or you build the whole show around footage that happened 8 months ago. Like it's tough to be like, yeah, we're the best wrestle. Anyway, here's our footage from 8 months ago featuring nobody that's in the company right now.
Or you show me the Hook Chris Jericho storyline. It's like, this is where the best.
They're gonna broker a deal tonight. SV3 excited for this.
They're gonna broker a meeting, guys. That's sure to put butts in the seats.
I want Chris Jericho to give where the best wrestle. It's like, you know what, Hook? This is where the best wrestle. We're not here to make deals. We're here to wrestle. And on Sunday at AEW Dynasty, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wrestle. And then Hook is eating his pizza or his chips, whatever he's eating, and he's just like, "Fuck you." That's it. It's the end of it.
And then he says, "Bet." No, you get Jericho to say "bet" again. Bet.
No, we don't need
bet. 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 The way he said it was so annoying.
He's got the Canadian in him. The Canadian.
Bet.
We do get Claudio and Ospreay tonight. That's I'm looking forward to that match.
I think that's going to deliver, and I think the Elite Trios matchup is going to be a lot of fun.
Look, there's a lot of good wrestling on AEW. We're having fun out here with the where the best wrestle. A lot of people speaking. I'll do the rundown later. We don't need to talk about AEW right now.
Not yet. Let's give WWE center stage because a lot went down on Monday Night Raw. It was pretty.
Who cares about WWE? Who cares? Let's talk about the Lakers. How you feeling after that game? Almost blew an 18-point lead. Took Zion being hurt, faking an injury for the loss. Davis, kind of up and down. LeBron was LeBron. D'Angelo Russell was really good. But you got the Nuggets now. Is this what you were hoping for, SP3? How you feeling about this?
We play to win the game. This is the best chance that we're going to have of beating the Nuggets one way or another. We were going to have to face the Nuggets. We're happy with what we got. We're the 7th seed. We are where we're supposed to be, and I prepare everybody for a series that's going to be much more competitive than last year.
Here's the thing: last year was competitive. I think people
each of the games was competitive. Yeah,
you look at the end results and you see it was Nuggets in a sweep. So it's like, oh, well, it wasn't close. All the games were close, though. It's just the Nuggets executed better down the stretch. Same with the games this year, like the regular season games. They were competitive games. Just the Nuggets were better down the stretch. I think that's got to be a little bit worrisome if you're the Lakers, is that every single time in the last 5 minutes, the Nuggets have it figured out and the Lakers don't. And that's a little troubling that you can't figure it out one of these times. Gabe Vincent is back, though, right?
Yes.
He was good last night.
Finally at full health with Gabe Vincent being back. He was
no excuses.
He was the crucial part of our off season, a crucial piece that we picked up, and we haven't had him for most of the season. So it was glad to see him back and playing well, looking good on the court, not showing any rust. So hopefully he shows that again in the playoffs. I am optimistic on going into to Saturday because it is 420, and I'm sure the Nuggets are going to be high. So the Lakers are going to win game 1.
Oh, you think? Wow, really?
Yep.
Lakers win game 1.
Yep. We're going to take the momentum from winning this play-in, holding out. We were playing on the edge because we took our foot off the gas and blew that 18-point game. So it became a very close game in the fourth quarter. So we just got to play with the same intensity going into the first quarter, and we're gonna win game 1. They're gonna be too high.
Okay, high jokes aside, because it's 420. I get it. You really think they're winning game 1?
Secondhand high. I'm not talking about them smoking. I'm talking about Denver in general. Secondhand high. We're going in with mass.
I mean, the Lakers are on the court too.
No, we're going in with mass. We're outside. They're gonna be getting secondhand high. They're gonna walk into the building. It's gonna be freaking spinning. Jokic is gonna come through. All we got to do is try to make sure that everyone else is limited and defended well.
I feel like if this game slows down for Jokic, that's even worse. That dude already plays at a slow enough pace. He's gonna slow down.
No, I didn't say slow down Jokic. I said there's no slowing down Jokic.
No, but you say like it's gonna be spinning. You get high, things slow down usually.
Yeah, that is true.
So if Jokic is high and the game is slowed down even further for him,
I said Jokic's gonna do his thing. We gotta limit everybody else. Everybody else can't play as high as he's gonna be.
A lot of Lakers fans here.
Look at that. We come out in force. We come out.
Will saying Nuggets in 5. Louis saying they look gas at the end. Nuggets are gonna wreck them.
Louis a hater. That's why the Magic gonna get swept.
Louis was in on the Magic.
I know.
You gotta give him props.
I know. Props to him for getting that right. Congratulations on the first round exit.
You picked the Magic to beat the Cavs.
I did. But now you see how y'all play. Y'all, it's all y'all.
Why are you flip flopping? What is this flip flopping?
Why everybody be hating on the Lakers? Y'all be making me go against my own predictions.
Why are you flip flopping over here?
I'm not flip flopping.
You literally are.
I'm not flip flopping. I already made my bet. For the Magic to win in the first round, so I can't flip flop now.
But now you're saying they're gonna lose just because you're mad at Louis.
It's trash talk.
You're emotional right now.
He's talking trash about my team.
You're emotional. Look at you, emotional.
We're winning game 1.
You're mad at Louis.
We're winning game 1.
you're mad at Louis for taking shots at the. It's not even taking a shot. Like I don't
Yes,
feel
it
like
is.
he's incorrect. They did look gassed.
It is a shot though. It could be right, but it is still a shot.
Okay, fair. But
Yeah,
you're still.
he don't have to say it. It's like Romeo, and we have a group chat with Romeo. He's like, oh, as soon as we blow the 18-point, oh, Lakers are choking. So I waited to the end of the game. I was like, you were saying? He was like, oh, I wasn't right. I was like, but you still hating? I was like, you're a loser franchise, a Knicks fan talking trash to me, an Orlando Magic. Y'all don't have the right to talk any trash about the Lakers. That's my point.
Don't live in the past. Don't live in the past. Don't do that. Too many people like to live in the past. Let's talk. What are you, Klay Thompson? I got 4 rings. Okay. How many shots you make last night? You couldn't make 4 shots last night.
Was that the last time we saw Klay, Draymond, and Steph play together?
No, I think Klay stays. He's going to take less money. He's going to have to take less money. But I think he ends up staying. He might be the sixth
My
man.
prediction was the Warriors, so I was shocked by that.
He might be the 6th man, honestly.
Yeah.
Terrence is asking me, who do I want, the Pelicans or the Kings? Look, as a Thunder fan, last night was best case scenario. I didn't want the Lakers. I admitted that. I thought that was a bad matchup for us. I didn't want the Lakers. So I was happy that the Lakers won. The Pelicans are a tough matchup, but I don't know how healthy Ingram is. I don't know how healthy Zion is after last night. The Kings, like any matchup's a tough matchup. The Kings aren't the best matchup. I think the Warriors were actually the best matchup because I didn't actually believe in that team. It's tough for me to go against like Steph, but like truthfully, I didn't believe in that team. The Kings are a tough matchup, but their depth without Monk and without Herter, I feel halfway decent about them. Who would I rather face? I kind of think the Kings. I'd probably rather face the Kings just because if everybody's healthy, meaning like if Zion isn't going to miss time, then I think Zion's the toughest matchup of everyone. And I think like Herb Jones has bothered Shea in the regular season as well. So I think the Pelicans are a slightly tougher matchup. That's why I kind of prefer the Kings. Lou Dort has always done a good job on De'Aaron Fox. Sabonis is good. He gets his numbers, but he's only one person. The Kings defense doesn't really exist. And so I feel good about our offense against that defense. So I would prefer the Kings.
And
it's going to come down to Zion.
I think the Kings may win if Ingram is hurt, if he's banged up.
I don't think too much about Ingram. If Zion doesn't play, the Kings will win. If Zion plays, then it's a different story. Alvarado,
it's going to be a close game, but I would take the Kings over
Alvarado. He was favoring his ankle a lot.
Yeah,
last night as well. The Pelicans are kind of banged up. I said it yesterday on FMC. I'll say it again here. When you're the 1 seed, you obviously have home court advantage. You're facing a team that has to play twice this week. You face the team that just played last night. You're facing a team that's going to have to play on Friday, and then they got to turn around and play on Sunday. We haven't played since, I mean, if you want to count that game on Sunday that the Thunder played, fine. But it was like a 50-point game against the Mavs. The Mavs, like, reserves. But like we've had a week off. We have young, fresh legs. I worry a little bit about rust, but I think it's better of them being like rested. Home, the OKC fan base like always shows out. It's very loud in that building. It's a very good environment. It's been a while since we've had the playoffs. Since 2000, since we didn't have it in the bubble. That was the last time we made the playoffs, was the bubble. And that was the bubble. So the crowd's going to be really energized, really into it. I didn't care who we played. I think we should have won, even if it was the Lakers, even if I didn't really like the Lakers matchup, just based on having to play twice and us being fresh, being young. So I still feel that way, whether it's the Kings or the Pelicans. I feel like we should win. We're facing a team that they've had to play twice. And both these teams are a little banged up. And Kings got big injuries to guys who aren't coming back. The Pelicans are just got injuries to guys who might play, but probably
True.
aren't 100%. So
No, I would take the Thunder against either one of those teams because I'm not the biggest believer in the Kings. I think that I agree with you. The Pelicans is the harder matchup, so I would probably say more games it's going to take for the Thunder to beat them in a 7-game series. But yeah, I would still take the Thunder.
we'll see. I warned my wife. This is the last week of like sane Jeremy, because NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs starting this weekend.
So you're not going to be good for like 2 months.
Well, I mean, both my teams could get eliminated pretty quickly. Honestly, the Avs are a 3 seed. I know the NHL playoffs are weird, but basically, they're basically the 5 seed in basketball terms.
To connect
So,
everything here, we got Louis who says Klay Thompson is super washed. Klay Thompson is Hiroshi Tanahashi washed.
what are we doing? Who gives a fuck about wrestling? Stop it.
Yes, you got to tie it all together. People came for wrestling too.
And they know this show. We don't talk about wrestling. This show was weird on Monday where we talked about wrestling like the entire time until the last 15 minutes. Oh, this show, the first half hour is no wrestling at all.
This is like a continuation of FMC, basically.
Yeah. Yes, this is me saying playoff me, a whole different animal. Whole different animal. I'm like super depressed most of the time.
Yes, it's true.
Even
It's
if my
funny.
team does well, I'm super depressed.
It's kind of funny to me.
Sure. New Taylor Swift album on Thursday. That's me on crack.
Oh God. This is when Jeremy makes himself seventh heaven white.
We don't talk about that show. There's a lot of bad people on that show. Joel doesn't know anything about basketball is the problem.
Yeah,
he won't allow
it.
it.
He'll talk hockey with you.
Yeah, but his hockey teams suck. So like he just doesn't, his hockey teams aren't good.
See what you really should have done if you really wanted to like spend time not talking about wrestling, you should have watched X-Men 97 this morning before the show started.
Oh, right, it's Wednesday.
Like I did.
No, I had to listen to a Cody Rhodes interview.
Priorities. See, we all got our priorities.
Hey, I gotta work. It's bullshit.
Hey, yeah, that's me working. I do a podcast on X-Men now, so 2 of them now because of you.
I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it tonight, probably after Dynamite. Assuming now, I don't care too much about Bulls and Hawks, but that game starts at 9:30. I'll probably watch the end of that, and then I'll watch X-Men 97 if that game's close. Otherwise, I don't really care. I'm excited for Heat and Sixers though. Yeah. Get ready, everybody, for the ratings talk tomorrow when Heat and Sixers does 5 million and 2 point something in the demo,
and then
AEW can't crack 700,000.
It's not going to crack 800. It's going to be below 800 again.
It didn't do 800 last week, did it?
Yeah, it did. It did 819 with the footage.
Remember.
With the footage. The footage. Roll the tape.
Yeah, but like Big Bang Theory.
819, and then it didn't give us a really good show.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory is why it does a big number, not CM Punk.
Sheldon Cooper, man.
Sheldon Cooper's a draw. Penny?
He's a draw.
Yeah.
All those people on Big Bang Theory. I only know one character's name because I watched Young
Sheldon.
I only watched Young Sheldon.
There's Penny.
I don't care. I don't care. Trust me, I don't care. I only watched Young Sheldon.
There's Leonard.
God, he's really
There's Stephen Hawking.
Oh God, what are we doing? I never
Amy.
I only watched the last minute of Big Bang Theory. I don't need
5 characters.
And I never pay attention to any of their names. I say Sheldon Cooper. There's the guy that was on Roseanne. There's the blonde girl that was in a lot of movies.
That's Penny.
There's Blossom. And there's you don't know what Blossom is?
Like
Sheldon's girlfriend. She used to be
Amy.
She used to be Blossom. No, that's not Amy. That's Blossom. I'm sorry. If Mario Lopez showed up on a show, I would still call him AC Slater. That's Blossom.
Okay, I know who Mario Lopez is.
That's Blossom. She's not Amy. That's Blossom.
That's fair, but I don't know who Blossom is.
Well, you should have watched the show. Whoa.
What's Blossom?
whoa. You never heard Joey Lawrence say whoa?
No, that's Owen Wilson.
Oh God! All right, moving on. See, one of us is knowledgeable of '90s television, and the other isn't.
I've heard of Blossom, everyone. I didn't realize it was that person though. Is it? That's really who it is?
That's really Blossom.
I didn't know that. I've heard of the show, never seen it. Never seen Blossom in my life. I did not know that was the same person.
Yeah.
Oh, we can talk some Saved by the Bell now.
Oh, don't get me started.
SP3 knows I'm on the Saved by the Bell.
I think I'm the most knowledgeable person on YouTube when it comes to Saved by the Bell because I have watched Good Morning Miss Bliss, Saved by the Bell, Saved by the Bell, the new class, Saved by the Bell, the college years, Saved by the Bell, the reboot on Peacock, and I did that sacrifice for everybody. None of y'all have to watch it. I will tell you everything that happened because no one should watch that.
The reboot wasn't like
the first season was the second season was actually all right. The first season was a chore. It was a chore to get through. Once I knew everybody and I was comfortable, the second season was fine. Showgirls, yeah, that is a part of the Saved by the Bell lexicon. I did watch that as well.
I don't remember anything from the reboot. I watched it and I can't tell you a single thing.
I can't. All I can remember is Zach was there. Kelly was there. Zach's kid is one of the main characters, Mac. I think his name is Mac.
Yeah.
Mac Morris. And then there is the girl who's the main character. And I'm pretty sure I've actually been to auditions when I used to act because she's from New York. I've actually been to an audition that she was at when in my younger days, before I was on YouTube. But yes, I actually been to an audition with her, so I'm very proud of her, and I forget her name on the show. I'm very ashamed of myself for that. But yeah, they had some good actors on there, but it was just so corny and over the top that it took a while for me to get used to. Then the second season, they did like the Screech tribute. There was more Lisa. They had the Showgirls reference that's a part of Jesse's history. I was like, okay, this was actually good. And then they canceled it. I was like, oh, okay.
Let's talk about wrestling. Will Chisholm.
All it took me is to talk about Saved by the Bell.
No, I'd much rather talk about Saved by the Bell.
No, I'm talking about Saved by the Bell on Peacock, not Saved by the... If we were just talking about Saved by the Bell, we would have kept going with that conversation.
I'd much rather talk about Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell was like one of the... I watched that show every single morning as a kid. Every single morning. Yeah, I used to fight fans of California Dreams. People were like, California Dreams is better. I was like, nah, square up right now.
I mean, I was a fan of the whole block, the Saturday morning block on NBC. Like, let's just put it up front because we already referenced X-Men 97. Yo, we was living rich in the 90s. Yo, Saturday mornings was pop. We used to want to wake up the same time we woke up for school for Saturday mornings as a kid because you had Fox with X-Men, the animated series. They had Bobby's World. They had Spider-Man, the animated series. You jump over to another, I forget, I think it was like Channel 11 for me. It was like Channel 11 had Batman, the animated series. Then back on Fox, they had Power Rangers in the morning. And then you go to NBC, you had Saved by the Bell. You had Hang Time. California Dreams, City Guys, CITY. You can see why these guys, the new guys, smart as streetwise. CITY. You can see why these guys, the new guys, smart as streetwise. That was my show, yo. I was like, yo, I want to be like them. They from New York. Oh, that's gonna be me when I grow up. I was gonna be that black kid. I was like, I'm gonna replace him. I'm gonna be like the kids on Saved by the Bell new class, replacing Zach and Kelly. I'm gonna replace that black kid on CITY.
I did not remember the theme song for that. My God. That was very out of left field. I respect it.
Tapped in. I'm tapped in. My 90s television, man. Y'all can't mess with me. 90s television is tapped into my brain.
I'm good on Saved by the Bell, Boy Meets World, Full House.
Boy Meets World and that was TGIF.
Yeah.
That was my also my block. And Snick Saturdays, yo,
Nick,
was
yeah.
popping, yo. Saturday was popping. You get to wake up 8 a.m. and then you wait. All right. After a whole block is done, you're like, all right, damn, we gotta wait till 8 p.m. I was like, all right, I got 6:05. I could watch WCW Saturday night. Oh no, Superstars is on at like 11 a.m., 12 p.m. Back in those days too. Saturdays, yo, great day.
Back when you had to VHS tape everything. No such thing as the internet. Will Chisholm sends a super chat. Says, I'm already tired of the new era. And this is where the best wrestle. It gives off WCW where the big boys played. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. Terrence asking, did we watch A Different World?
Yes, absolutely.
I did not.
Absolutely. I watched Different World because it had Denise from Cosby Show. So I watched Different World. My memory of Different World really taps in when Denise leaves though. So I watched a little bit when like the first season, but I really tapped in and like was hooked on it when what was it? Kadeem Hardison started going out with Jasmine Guy's character, Whitley and Dwayne Wade. Before Dwayne Wade, there was Dwayne Wayne.
2 years before Dwayne Wayne became Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah. It's the only reference I know.
That relationship, I still remember the wedding where Dwayne just totally curved the guy who was supposed to get married to Whitley. And he's like, I love you. He's like, getting hold back. Like, hold him back. Yo.
I didn't watch it. I don't get the reference.
My favorite character was actually what's her name? Damn, Freddie. Freddie was my favorite character because they had Freddie on Atlanta. The final episode of Atlanta, Freddie does a guest experience, and that popped
me. All right.
And Jada Pinkett was on there, and Tupac. Good times. That was the later season, so
Jada Pinkett still with Tupac.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like certain people don't remember that because like with like Cosby Show, people don't realize that Maxine Shaw from Living Single is actually related to the hospital family.
We don't talk about the Cosby Show. We don't talk about that show.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sinbad, Sinbad was on Different World too.
That's a redacted show.
Redacted.
Yeah.
Yo, Freddie was the voice of everybody. Like, go back to all Freddie that played on Different World. She was the voice of so many animated characters, yo. Like, it's ridiculous. I think she's like one of the voices on. Oh, she's the voice of Susie on Rugrats.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, Rugrats, I'm in on. Nickelodeon shows, I'm in on those. I've been watching.
What you're from that era, or you're from the later era? Because I can't even relate to people who told me SpongeBob the best Nicktoon.
Look, you know I love SpongeBob.
I know, but what era are you from?
Oh, I'm from this people with the same age. What
exactly.
are we talking about here?
Exactly.
I've been watching Hey Arnold a lot recently.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like my show that I've been putting on when I go to bed.
I need to rewatch that.
Rocco's Modern Life is legit. I named my dog Spunky after Rocco's Modern Life. When I had a dog growing up, named it Spunky. Love me some Rocco's Modern Life.
Rocco was my joint. Hey Arnold, yeah, because I'm a city kid. So
Doug,
love Doug, yes. Quail Man, man. Silver Surfer.
Hell yeah.
That's how I learned about superheroes. Was from Doug. Patty Mayonnaise, Roger Klotz.
Caden, yes, I've watched the iCarly, and I've not watched the documentary where everyone got exposed.
I watched. Trust me, people. I watched it. I don't know if I can. It ruined my childhood.
Yeah.
It ruined my child. But I wasn't a part of that era. Like the last show that they talked about that I remember being a kid and watching was the Amanda Show, because the Amanda Show was basically just an offshoot of all that. Like iCarly, really in reality, to all y'all, I'm just going to put it out there. iCarly is just like the latest evolution of Carissa Explains It All. Carissa Explains It All started that format of young teen girl as a star, and then some story about behind it. Carissa just used to put into like a diary and talk talk to the camera and break the fourth wall. iCarly does the internet and all that social media and stuff. Who was it before that? I don't know who was in between all of that, but that's pretty much the evolution of that type of genre within the Nickelodeon lexicon.
Shutdown Spurs says the best Nicktoon is Avatar: The Last Airbender, Keep Angry Beavers, Doug, Rocko's Modern Life, SpongeBob, etc. We're not gonna bury Angry Beavers, Doug, Rocko's
I'm
Modern Life.
not gonna bury your favorite Nicktoon, even though that's not from my era. Secret World of Alex Mack, that's from my era. Yo, she went into a freaking puddle. She just went into a puddle and she used to went under doors and stuff. Yo, that used to be cool as hell. And then I remember when she popped up on Boy Meets World when she was one of the a million of Sean's girlfriend.
Yeah. Famous Jet Jackson.
It's a famous Jet Jackson. That was my joy, yo. Disney Channel. That era Disney Channel, that Even Stevens, Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, that's Disney. That's Disney. Yeah. That was a little stuff right there. Did they reboot Lizzie McGuire, or am I crazy?
No, it was them doing the How I Met Your Father reboot, and everybody thought it was supposed to be, but they were talking about doing it about a grown-up Lizzie. She was still gonna be like knowing Gordo and stuff like that. The brother was gonna come back and stuff, but they had those talks, and then it fell out, and then she started with How I Met Your Father.
I watched like the first episode of that, and I was like, nah, this isn't for me. I don't know if I can.
I didn't watch it.
Because I watched How I Met Your Mother, and I
barely ever watched that.
I was forced to watch it. That was not my decision.
It's usually like that. The Syndicate, it was more on like syndication. I used to. Oh, Are You Afraid of the Dark is an all-time classic. All-time classic. That's the staple. That was the show closer. You know it's one of the best shows when they used to give it the show closing spot on SNCC. That was always the 9:30 block. 9:30 p.m. It was Are You Afraid of the Dark? Because you had to go out with the banger horror story to close out and scare kids before they go to sleep.
Phil from the Future. That's a good shout.
That was a good shout.
College Art Finisher.
I did watch that. That's around the time when they were doing like space stuff like that, and what's the girl's name? Zeon.
Yeah, Zeon, the girl from the 20th century or whatever.
Yeah. From the 21st century. Zoom, 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 make your heart go boom, boom. My supernova girl. I remember that. See, these things it's in my head. It just pops up.
Kenny says thoughts on High School Musical. I don't have any.
Not my era.
Yeah.
That's all I say. Not my era. Because I was actually in high school, so High School Musical was corny.
I don't think I've ever, like, I know the songs and stuff just because if you watch enough Disney Channel or you were just around, like, you heard all that shit, but never actually like watched it. Never. Why Soul Blasker for our 90s crush, and he says, why is it always Topanga? Kelly Kapowski.
Mine was either Lisa Turtle or Topanga. Fair. I was a big Boy Meets World fan.
Yeah, I was always Kelly Kapowski.
Or Angela too. Lisa Turtle, Angela, yeah. Angela and Sean is the superior couple. Just want to let everybody know that.
What?
They're the superior couple.
Topanga and Corey?
Yes. They are toxic as hell when they get into high school. That is the most toxic relationship.
Every high school relationship is toxic.
Remember how they first broke up? When they were about to cheat on one another? They lied to each other and they went to the same school dance, acting like there was somebody else, and then they have that weird breakup where they walk away and then one person comes back. Topanga. Oh, she's gone. Oh, he's gone.
Everybody is
so weird. Toxic. It's so awkward. And then we have to deal with that whole Disney episodes where they have the whole get back together and then they kiss and then together and it's fine. And then don't get me started on the ski lodge.
Nah, we ain't talking. That was what's the word I'm looking for? That was television murder what they did with that whole story. I was so angry at that. So angry.
Yo, it was like
You're gonna go on the ski lodge. You're gonna be hurt. Got this girl taking care of me. Falls to her. Then they got the jelly beans. Oh, let me weigh this. Get the fuck out of here, Corey.
I never looked at Corey to say. I never liked Corey after. I was like, how dare you do that to that Angel Topanga? What are you doing, sir?
I'm with you.
What are you doing? I never looked at Corey to say it was a wrap after that. But even before that, they can't have a long distance relationship. She's moving to Pittsburgh. You live in Philadelphia. What are we doing? I went out with women in New Jersey in my younger days. I live in New York. That's a different state. You live in the same state. How is you can't do it?
Like all these high school
Get me
couples,
started.
All these high school couples were toxic. Kelly and Zach were toxic.
Yeah.
Jesse and Slater were the most toxic.
No, they were actually a good couple.
They were toxic.
I say they're the superior couple as well.
Nah, they were toxic.
They're a superior couple.
All these couples were toxic. All of them. It's high school. Jared says, "Are you afraid of the dark?" Is still has the scariest intro. No. All these couples way too toxic.
Hey, all I know is that Laura Winslow is one of the most trash characters in sitcom history. The way she, yes, she had a stalker. Yes, he was a stalker. Yes, he was a little bit, abrasive. But Steve was the best guy she knew because she had a whole fetish, a whole love for F-boys. She was on F-boy Island. Every one of her boyfriends was the biggest F-boy we could possibly meet. And different types of light-skinned F-boys. It was like, what are we doing? Then she met the dark-skinned F-boy in like season 5 with the dashiki and stuff. It's like, oh my God, she never. Yes, Steve harassed her. I'm not in support.
Condoning harassment?
I'm not condoning Steve. I'm saying that Laura Winslow also ain't shit. That's what I'm saying. I know we're at the 47-minute mark. Also.
Okay. Yeah, how Carl never killed Steve is amazing. There should have been more murders on this show, if we're being honest. Where were the parents in all of this? The parents sat a little too idly by when this stuff was going on, if you ask me.
I agree. Hey, see, you wanted us to go down a rabbit hole and not talk about wrestling. Here we are.
Yeah, Philly to Pittsburgh is a long drive, man.
It is a long drive. Yeah, maybe it's not realistic as a team. All I'm saying is that I didn't need 2 episodes of it. I didn't need 2 episodes for her to just stay in Philadelphia because she has an aunt. Why didn't y'all think of that before? Why does she have to be out in the rain, standing in the rain at your door? Why couldn't she just ask her aunt if she could stay with her? So frustrating. Some of these shows, the logic holds. It just frustrated me. And Boy Meets World had a few of them that just really grind my gears.
The gun episode of Fresh Prince. I do remember that one.
That is one of the best episodes.
Yeah.
That was one of the best. The gun episode of Family Matters. One of the best episodes. Both very good episodes. The emotional moment where Will takes the gun away from Carlton. It always gets at me. That and his father, of course. That monologue. I'm gonna have a wife and some kids without him. Why you don't love me? Why you don't want me? Oh man. And then I love Uncle Phil just knocking off the hat. Get out. Let me hug you.
We should talk more about Fresh Prince. Did you watch the new Fresh Prince?
Yeah, yo, it's so good. It's so good.
I haven't watched it
because it's not because it's
yeah. I know. It's like I know it's way more dramatic and less comedy. That's what turned me off. I was like, can't you just like name it something else? Why you gotta name it Fresh Prince?
Nah, because I saw when you try to be so much like the original that it just comes off corny and like a carbon copy, like the like Saved by the Bell on Peacock,
Yeah.
or another sacrifice I did for all of y'all. If y'all want any knowledge of the entire Boy Meets World lore, I watched Girl Meets World. Oh my god, that show is awful. That show is.
I mean, let's not go awful.
It's awful.
Let's
oh my god, there's
awful.
like two. There's 4 seasons. 2 of them are decent. 1 is really bad, and then the 4th one is just you. They shouldn't have even made it.
You watch Fuller House?
I watched that too. I did that sacrifice for all of y'all too. Yeah. But I have completely. When did that end? Like 2018, 2019. I've completely forgotten everything about that.
Yeah,
like that was pretty.
My memory sucks when it comes to it, and I've only like watched these shows once too, so it's like tough.
The first 2 seasons of Fuller House, it was fine. It just got too much.
Not having the twins was like, I know they made reference to them and everything, but man, they couldn't come back for a cameo or something. What are we doing here? Yeah, I've seen Fuller House, Caden. I've seen it. I know who Sabrina Carpenter is. I know. Because she's a blonde white girl.
Who's Sabrina Carpenter? Which one is that? I don't know.
Mila's best friend. Was her Corey's daughter's best friend. I forgot her name, but
okay. You're talking about Girl Meets World again. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Girl Meets World.
Okay. Yeah, I was like Sabrina Carpenter. I've heard that name before. So yeah, that's Maya. Riley and Maya is the girl version of Corey and Sean on Girl Meets World. Girl Meets World always try to do Boy Meets World storylines, except really, really badly. Like when they went to the ski lodge, and then they had the love triangle. That made no sense. That made no sense. And plus, this kid, the guy they got to play the love interest, he's like 18, and these girls are like 12. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're doing grooming? Girl Meets World, man. I couldn't. That wasn't my vibe. Like I could go. First season. I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit here.
I didn't think it was.
I thought it got terrible. I was like, I sat.
I don't remember it enough to honestly have.
This was me in the first season. I was like, all right, they better be bringing more people back. They brought Sean back, and it was like, oh,
yeah,
this is cool. But then they started. What really made it bad for me is the character assassination they did for Angela. That was too disrespectful. That's
your biggest gripe. That's now we find the root of the issue.
Too much for me. Now
we find the root of the issue because earlier you said Angela and Sean were the best couple, and now you are saying they did character assassination on Angela, so that's your real gripe with Girl Meets World.
Oh no!
Now we have found
it. I've said all the different. There's a lot of different issues with Girl Meets World. They try to be too woke. They try to be too woke. They try to redo Boy Meets World storylines, except really badly. Their acting is not very good. They start talking about serious topics, but don't know what type of message they want to come across to the children viewers that this show is supposed to be directed towards. And then they took one of the best. Every character comes back. It's like a big celebration. They get to meet all the different characters, have to have a nice reunion. Sean comes back. He's meet with Corey. He gets to interact with the girls. He gets to have a scene with Topanga. Eric comes back. He comes back as plays with squirrels at first. Then he rips off the beard. He gets to have a moment with Tommy, a grown-up Tommy on freaking Girl Meets World. That was one of the best moments of the show. I will give them that. That was one of the best moments. That reveal was awesome. But that's what they get that. Feeny comes back at the first episode as a freaking ghost. So we're like, is Feeny dead? They go to Philadelphia. And they meet with Feeny. They get to have a big moment. He's still married to the chancellor or the professor or whatever. Everybody gets a nice little moment. Angela, they compared her. They called the episode where Angela came back Hurricane Katrina. They compared the only black character from a well-known 90s sitcom to one of the worst natural disasters of the past 20 years. I'm sorry. Like, that's unexcusable. That's unexcusable. They compared her to a hurricane the entire episode. Characters, Riley was rude to her and disrespectful to her. Just said hi and then walks bye. Oh my god, it's so bad, so bad. Oh, but no, Rachel, they never gonna show Rachel on. They would never show Rachel on Girl Meets World because of Rachel's post Boy Meets World career.
You're really mad about the Angela thing. That's where it all stems from. You made good points, but
they even brought back Jack, and Jack gets to he gets to meet everybody. He's got a nice paying job.
The Angela assassination is really what you're mad about, though. I'm glad we got to the root of that. Wilchism says every time Fresh Prince gave Will a longtime girlfriend, they would retcon it. You had Tyra Banks and then Lisa. So Will's mom married Lisa's dad, and then that was the last we heard of all of them.
Yo, we never even got a close up of Tyra Bay of Jackie. We never know what happened. Like, one season she was there, and then Carlton takes over the entire student store. So
yeah. Is this true, SP3? Did you study Rachel's post Boy Meets World career extensively?
Nope. My wife might be watching, so nope.
Does your wife watch this show? That's a shame.
Probably not, but someone will clip it if I said yes.
You can admit it if you did. It's okay.
She knows.
Why Soulable admits it. Every time Zarian comes on here and talks about his expertise, I make references. You know, my wife watches this show, and I don't know if she understands the references, but she knows what I'm talking about. You know, it's accepted.
Hey, we will say, Louis, Boy Meets World did have some spectacular professional wrestling matches. I will never forget Vader versus.
Vader was a father in that show.
Vader versus Jake the Snake Roberts in Philadelphia. Man, that's a legendary bout. He became #1 contender for the WWF Championship thanks to Corey Matthews.
Yeah, Vader was father to Frankie in that show.
Yeah. That popped me so much when that first appearance. It was so good. So good.
Look out for the DDT.
And then they randomly pop up like Mankind. Have Mankind pop up in the college years.
Yeah. When shows up as a referee for the match
when Jack and Eric are facing Angela, Topanga, and Rachel.
Yeah. Yeah, Boy Meets World is wrestling talk. We're an hour into the show and we haven't accomplished anything. All right, fine. We'll spend the last hour talking about wrestling for some reason. Raw was on Monday. Rhea Ripley relinquished her title. She has a shoulder injury. Don't know when she'll be back. She said a few months. Happened at the hands of Liv Morgan. And so she is no longer the champion. And later on in the show, they said a new champion will be decided next week. How? We don't know. But a new champion will be decided next week. What do you think they should do with this title, SP3?
Put it on new top heel Liv Morgan. Stay with me, folks. I think that this is how you make chicken salad out of chicken shit. It's an injury. It happened by accident. She gets thrown into the wall. You use that to facilitate Liv Morgan turning heel, being the top heel on Raw, and get her ready for Rhea Ripley's return, probably in the late summer, early fall.
I don't know about late summer, early fall. I mean, she might be back SummerSlam. Maybe.
Think so?
Maybe. It depends. I've seen timelines of 3 to 4 months, but it could be earlier than that. So it depends on, how it heals and everything. So we'll see if it is by SummerSlam. I think Liv Morgan is probably the best bet. Heel Liv Morgan is weird in that she clearly wasn't designed to be a heel, but now she's kind of going that way just because she took out Rhea. and Rhea is now a babyface because she's injured and had to relinquish the title because of an injury.
I do like the way she did her relinquish or vacating the title promo, because we're so used to kind of the somber wrestler who, vows to come back, but is a little bit, upset they have to relinquish the title. And we kind of got that without the relinquishing of the title with Seth Rollins a couple of months ago when he got hurt in January. But I like the fact that she went a different route of really being angry. I've never seen that, of someone injured and then they're like furious. They're just the whole tone of the promo was of anger and wanting to come back to get revenge. Like, we've had people get written off because of an attack or an injury, but I don't remember somebody this was kind of her babyface turn promo of like angry, vengeful babyface, and then Liv coming out with just cackling and then doing the you do cry cry. It was very much, I was like, wow, this is the most charisma I've seen from Liv Morgan. I think that there was a legitimate ceiling on Liv Morgan underdog babyface that not a lot of Liv Morgan fans wanted to admit. And I see a higher ceiling on Liv Morgan, unhinged, cocky heel, more than I did as her as an underdog babyface.
I think Liv can play a heel very well. I guess it was a turn. It's just weird to think of Rhea now as the babyface when she's been the heel, and Judgment Day is such a heel faction for so long that it's like, oh, okay, now you're a heel, or now you're a babyface because you have to relinquish this title. And then if you're, WWE, who's the babyface to kind of step up to Liv? Because it was very clear the next challenger was going to be a babyface Liv Morgan, maybe still an unhinged babyface Liv Morgan, but still a babyface because Rhea was the heel. And now, if Liv is the heel, you need a babyface. Becky is there. She just challenged for the title. The contract is the contract situation. If I'm Becky Lynch, I see Rhea Ripley get hurt, I'm walking into Paul's office. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Like, you need somebody right now. You've been building this whole show for a year around this one person. Now she's out. Who else is in here? Who else has been carrying things for the past year? Yesterday's price, not today's price. I'm getting that cash if I'm Becky Lynch.
Hey, if I'm Becky Lynch, yeah, I agree with you. She should be like that because she is the person that you should call on in this situation. I know that she and Seth was probably planning on taking time off after Mania, but nah, we can't do that now. Like the golden goose of the WWE Women's Division is gonna be out. You need somebody to step in, and Liv Morgan as this new unhinged heel versus Becky Lynch is the type of top program that you can keep going, or you can keep the wheels moving, put a Nia Jax in there, put some people that we don't know who's going to be shifting over to Monday Night Raw in the WWE draft. And it's funny because I thought that the WWE draft this year was going to be about kind of evening the playing field on both rosters as far as like the women's division for Raw and SmackDown, because I felt like Raw really won out as far as the women's division in comparison to SmackDown last year. And I thought that it would be more about evening the playing field, but now it feels like they're going to have to put one of the stars from SmackDown over on Monday Night Raw now.
I'm trying to think who that even is,
Bianca.
because I think but I think they want to keep Bianca and Jade together and do tag team stuff with them. I don't really see them right now as singles people. I mean, maybe they will be, but it feels like they got tag team plans for them.
I'm not too sure about it. I know they got the tag team win on SmackDown last week, but I didn't get an indication that that's like a firm plan that they're going to go after the tag team titles together. And if they wanted to do that, they could just book it for Backlash, where the draft doesn't matter, where if they win the tag team titles, they can be on separate brands but still be tag team champions.
I think we're gonna see NXT women kind of come up.
I think
Lyra.
Roxanne
Yeah, but
maybe.
Roxanne's a heel. Like,
Yeah.
You gotta find a baby face right now to come up here. Wise is asking who are some of the top babyface women in
That's
NXT right now.
Lyra. It's just
Lyra.
Lyra.
You bring up Thea Hale. Thea Hale just running wild with the babyface energy.
She's not ready.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
so
ready.
either. But
She's not ready yet. The most ready outside, like on the babyface side for NXT, outside of Lyra, would be like Fallon Henley.
yeah,
I don't think she's ready either. I
I
think
don't
she
know. I
needs a
don't
couple
think.
more months.
Yeah, I don't think any of these women are
Yeah,
really ready.
yeah,
They're gonna fall back on Becky most
yeah.
likely because yeah, I saw. I don't know if you saw this SB3, but like in the women's title news blurb that they did on WWE.com under featured superstars, uh, Alexa Bliss was mentioned there.
And this Monday, next Monday's Raw is in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm not going to it, but yeah. So I don't know if Alexa is. I don't know how she's coming back. I don't know if she's going to be part of the Uncle Howdy comeback, or if she does come back as babyface Alexa Bliss. I don't. I don't find her super intriguing as a babyface. I
Me either.
she's much better as a heel. But if you're doing like kind of Mean Girl Liv Morgan, you can't really do Mean Girl Alexa Bliss either. So
They're very lacking on the babyface side when you really
yeah.
think about it. They're gonna have to. They're really. I think their hands are gonna be tied that they're gonna have to split this. Whatever plans they had for Bianca and Jade, they did their little stint at WrestleMania. I think it's time to split it. The right move is to put a Bianca over there because I think that the alternative plan is them shifting Naomi over there. Because
Yeah,
all I know that we could talk about other girls on NXT, but babyface wise, it's just Lyra. It's just Lyra, guys. It's just Lyra.
yeah.
It's just Lyra. That's the biggest babyface that can immediately be on Raw right now to be in a title program.
Yeah, Naomi. I mean, Naomi's got the shot against Bailey on Friday. I don't think Naomi's winning that, but that's probably your kind of your top baby face behind Becky. That's not a champion. Bailey's obviously the top baby face. That's a champion. There is Bianca. There is Jade. Again, I just see them. It seems like they're doing tag team stuff right now, and I think they kind of want to keep it that way. One, to protect Jade a little bit because right now she's just getting in, killing people as she should, but that's only going to go so far as a singles. And then Bianca, she's just kind of done everything as singles, and I don't know how much you're going to run with her as a singles person. I like them as a tag team. I think there's a little bit more ground to cover with them as a tag team, and then maybe you do a turn down the line. But
Well, what I'm very interested in is if Rhea's injury has affected any draft plans, because when the draft was announced last week, I thought that they're going to shift both the men's and women's world championships on both sides. I thought that the Judgment Day was going to SmackDown, and I thought Bailey and Cody was going to go to Raw. But now this week, with the injury to Rhea Ripley, then we get the confirmation on WWE's website that Cody is now officially a SmackDown star, the undisputed WWE champion over there. And the promo he kind of did, where he kind of like was giving an unofficial goodbye before he says goodbye and kind of passing the torch of top babyface to Jey Uso now that he's the number one contender. It feels like Cody's going to be on SmackDown. You're probably going to keep Bailey over there. They'll probably not shift any of the titles that they've rebranded as far as the WWE Championship, WWE Women's Championship, and now what's going to be the WWE Tag Team Championships. Probably the swap that we're going to see is maybe Sammy going over to SmackDown and Logan Paul coming over to Raw.
Logan mentioned he wanted to be on Netflix, so that's a possibility there. Will Chisholm says, I would say put EO on Raw, but Rossi's trying to get EO and Kyrie to pop up on his shows. He's not beating them cases. Probably not. I mean, Damage Control, assuming the draft works how we think it works, which we never know, you can probably draft Damage Control as a group. It would be pretty stupid to draft them separately, like logically. Like, I just want EO instead of all four of them. Why wouldn't you take all four? That always baffled me when Big E just got taken by himself. It's like, why wouldn't you just take all of them? It was just a weird thing to split them.
That's why I'm like, yo, the number one picks are pretty obvious. It should be Judgment Day should be a number one pick, and Cody. Those should be the number one picks on each of these nights. Because if you're
Bloodline.
But why wouldn't you get Judgment Day, who has Rhea, Damian Priest,
Judgment Day, you got 5 picks there.
Yeah, that's 5. Yeah. That's a 5 picker. Like with the bloodline, yeah, you probably can get Roman, but I don't know what they're gonna do with like the active, inactive, injured wrestlers, whatever they're gonna do. Maybe if you're getting the bloodline, you're only getting Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga now. And I'm like, okay, it was a nice angle, but I don't know if I want to waste the number one pick on that.
Now Cody's gonna be the number one pick. That's easier said.
But I'm saying the other one needs
it should be Judgment.
You shouldn't pick Damian Priest.
Yeah,
that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared they're gonna have one of these brands look stupid and just pick Damian Priest instead of picking the whole Judgment Day.
I don't think they're gonna split Judgment Day though, because if Raw picks just Damian Priest, if I'm SmackDown, I'm like, all right, give me the rest of these dudes then.
This is like
why wouldn't I take these 4 guys and potentially Rhea, even though she's hurt? I'll just split your group here. I guess you could spin it as like, oh, good luck with that headache of Judgment Day. They're a pain in the ass to put up with.
They run everything. They take over everything.
They run the show.
But
I think they're going to be as a group. Yeah, with Bloodline, I don't know if it's going to be if it's just Roman, if he's even part of the draft. Sometimes if it's like an inactive person, they just don't have them part of the draft. So we'll see.
We shall see. I just last night actually watched the Roman Reigns documentary on A&E. It was nice to watch it after he's lost the title. I think it was a better watch for me because I was able to kind of look at it and like reflect on everything. And I was like, yeah, they finally did it. It took a while, but they finally did it with Roman. They found the place that he wanted to go and they wanted him to go.
When that documentary first came out, a lot of people were like, oh, Roman's not going to lose. They're dropping too many hints. Roman's not going to lose. So I do think with eyes of knowing he lost, it probably hits a little bit different.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did.
Hopefully they'll put out the behind the scenes of 40 on YouTube that was supposed to come out last Wednesday at some point.
I want to see like the locker room like clap it up for Roman when he goes back there because they did.
I listened to a Cody interview today and he said he is not. Look, Cody could be fucking Cody lying over here, but he said he didn't see Roman after the match. That Roman, had kind of already was to himself by that point. He gave him the respect. It wasn't like a thing of, oh, Roman just blew me off and I haven't talked to him. It was like, Roman accomplished a lot. He went backstage after the match and probably took a lot of stuff in, kind of kept to himself. And, Cody was in the ring for a while and then he got to the back and he got his Rolex and everything. And then he had to do the press conference. So it wasn't like to downplay, oh, I just haven't talked to Roman. He just shunned me and blew me off. It was more of like, he probably just wanted to reflect on everything he did and our paths just didn't cross. I would imagine Roman got a nice reception. See, I wonder how deep it gets backstage after the WrestleMania stuff, because it was clear it was going to be like the build up to the show. But then, because this trailer aired after night 1.
Yeah.
And they made it seem like, oh yeah, we're going to have all this shit together by Wednesday. And then they didn't have it. We're a week later now. I hope it's a lot of like behind the scenes footage, but I think we talked about it. Like they used to take a year to put this stuff out. Like a documentary like this.
I think we're not going to get an update until like a month from now.
Yeah. Yeah. Documentary like this wouldn't come out until like Rumble of next year is when they would start like, hey, behind the scenes of WrestleMania 41. They were trying, or 40. They were trying to put this out like 4 days later. It's like, wow, y'all really working quick. And they found out, oh, wait a second. We actually got a whole lot of footage here. We can't work that quick.
There was like on second thought, no.
And they're putting it on YouTube too. Like that's another weird decision that like you got this big deal with Peacock and you would think it would be a Peacock deal. See, I would have thought like, oh, this is going to be a big Netflix.
Yeah, I would have hold off on it because it would have been around the time that they usually do the
Yeah.
WrestleMania documentaries when they're gonna be premiering on Netflix. So make it a big like premiere week, like the premiere of Raw on Netflix, and you also get the 24 WWE WrestleMania 40.
Yeah. I mean, now you can't do that. Now you've promised it on YouTube and you promised it
Yep.
a couple days after WrestleMania. And so now you got to deliver kind of as quick as you can on
Yeah.
it. It's still going to be really good. Like, there's still going to be a lot to it. I do imagine there's going to be hopefully behind the scenes of, they've already released some stuff behind the scenes, like with Cody getting the Rolex and his reaction to all of that. So we'll see
So
when it actually comes out.
who are you calling for next Monday, the new Women's World Champion?
I think it's Liv. I think that makes the most sense for the story. Liv winning it and then holding it until Rhea comes back. But then you're making Rhea a baby face, and Liv is going to be the heel in all of this. With how does that play with Judgment Day when Rhea does come back? Because I imagine Judgment Day is still going to be heels by the time all this
Well,
happens.
it looked like Damien is also leaning babyface.
Yeah, he didn't.
The video package they presented on Raw was very
Yeah,
much a babyface video package, and then him taking kind of the leadership role. It wasn't in like a domineering Roman Reigns gaslighting manipulation type of way. It was more like the leader of like a football team or the leader of a basketball team, kind of trying to rally the troops now that one of their other leaders is injured. And then the way they attacked Jey Uso after the matchup with Finn Balor, and he never put his hands on Jey Uso. So it really feels like they're leaning more and more, except that I think that they're going to make more and more obvious, probably in the weeks to come, Finn Balor may be trying to take a leadership role as well.
I'd put the title on Jey Uso, by the way.
I would not. You can't give
Coward.
Damian Priest the big push like you want to. And I think that it would be cool that if they did the storyline, because it was kind of teased so much last year after Priest won Money in the Bank and Balor was feuding with Seth Rollins. I was one of the people who was like, Balor should beat Seth Rollins and then Priest cash in on Balor. They do the reverse of that this year of Balor winning Money in the Bank and cashing in on Priest.
Possible. I like that idea. Maybe they go that way. I Jey Uso's so over right now, and I don't know. I don't know if he's ever gonna win a singles title. I
I don't
just
think so.
don't know if he will. It feels like he should. Feels like he should get a singles run. Like, I mean, we talked a little bit about it on Monday. Just the levels that he's at compared to his brother. It's like, man, this guy's kind of earned. You keep calling him main event Jey Uso. Feels like you should put a singles title on this dude. I know he's not going to win the world title this quickly after Damian did it. The Judgment Day split feels like it'll happen sooner now because Rhea's not there. So now, like, it looked like Rhea was taking control of the group and then kind of clashing with Damian, but then they were on the same page when they were both the champions. Now Rhea's out of the picture. It does feel that Finn might turn a little bit quicker, and then Rhea can come back as a babyface. Priest can be a babyface. Balor can lead his new group of Dominic, JD McDonough, whoever else they decide to throw in that group.
We need kind of Rhea to come back to a Judgment Day in chaos,
Yeah,
in dissension, with Balor and Priest kind of at the forefront, and also we need Dom to continue what he was doing when Rhea was here, when he was doing stuff behind her back, but now he doesn't have to say "I'm sorry, mommy" afterwards.
yeah.
He's just doing whatever he wants, hanging out with Legado del Fantasma, making his dad's life a living hell, picking fights with different people he shouldn't be picking fights with. We need more of that from Dom. Him pulling around JD and JD getting beat up. We need more of that. And I don't see Dom and JD ever being heels. Ever being anything other than heels. So I think that, yeah, Balor and those two guys can be the heel part of Judgment Day and maybe split off the Terror Twins as baby faces.
We got a heel turn to close the show on Monday. Chad Gable whooped Sami Zayn so bad that Charles Barkley was ready to go to Montreal and fight.
I
Chad
watched that
Gable.
whole 3-minute clip. That was so great. I was like, Charles, I'm watching you. If you BSing me and you haven't been watching, I'ma know. But everything he said, you could tell he watched it. He's been watching.
Oh, it was fantastic because like it starts and Barkley's just like, I've been loving what you guys are doing. He's on the McAfee show, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like, I love what you guys have been doing. And then he's like, The Rock is great. And it's like, oh, okay, Charles casual over here watching as The Rock's there, but he's like, I love Roman Reigns. I love Seth freaking Rollins. He dropped a freaking Rollins.
He said, I love Jimmy Uso. I was like, oh, he a real fan.
He called Seth called Seth Rollins by his Fed government name.
His middle name.
Full freaking.
And then he's like,
go ahead, Charles.
I was watching on Monday. I was ready to fly. They were burying Montreal. Like, Montreal terrible. Was like, I was ready to fly up there and whoop Chad Gable's ass for how he beat Sami Zayn. What you got there, Sean?
What you got?
Well, it was formerly called the Salmon Stack. They have since renamed it the Northern Exposure Bagel. I never liked that show in the early 90s. My mom watched it. It had a terrible theme song. I don't know if it's in any way a reference to that or if it's just, people say Northern Exposure sometimes, but we live in Kentucky, so it ain't natural. And I don't like it, but I do like the food. It's very good.
How are you doing today?
Very nice.
What are you guys up to?
Oh, we spent the first hour of this show talking about 90s sitcoms, so you're coming right in and fitting in.
Yeah, you're fitting in very nicely when you made a reference to a 90s show. I was like, that's been the theme.
So speaking of 90s sitcoms, and I'm sure you guys are familiar, My Brother and Me.
Yes.
On Nickelodeon. I mean, like, I could have sworn that had like 17 seasons, only to find out there were like 9 episodes.
It was like 9 episodes.
Yeah. But I will say this, Nickelodeon got their mileage out of their shows.
They used to run the syndication loops where you never knew you were watching the same episode. They would just restart it with My Brother and Me. And then after a while, I did realize that I was watching the same episode. But Sean, you missed me going on a full rant about why Sean and Angela is better than Corey and Topanga. I just want to make sure you're on the right side of history.
I mean, they seem like they had a much healthier relationship. Yeah.
Thank you. See, Jeremy?
Every high school relationship is toxic. I don't like big deal. Corey and Topanga were toxic. Of course they were. They were in high school.
I just broke down every breakup they ever had. That stupid one when they were 15 and they lied to each other and went to the school dance and then had the 15, awkward breakup.
You explained it yourself.
The awkward breakup. Corey. Oh, he's gone.
You explained it. They were 15.
Idiot.
How many people do you think got named Topanga because of that show?
Probably a lot of people.
Yeah, probably a lot.
A lot of people.
Probably a lot.
Well, I saw Bull asking the real questions. Well, who was your 90s crush and what was your favorite 90s sitcom?
Probably Topanga, to be honest with you. Probably Topanga, if I had to think about it.
See, I went Kelly Kapowski.
I went Lisa Turtle.
I mean, when I was a kid, I don't know. But my favorite sitcom, damn. Beavis and Butthead doesn't count, I guess.
Classic.
As far as like live action, go ahead.
Did you watch the SNL skit? The Beavis
and
Butthead?
Oh my god, I've watched it like 10 times.
He's the one that put it on my timeline, and I was just sharing it with everybody.
Yeah, all I saw was the picture. Like Ryan Satin had tweeted the picture of them dressed as Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
and it's like one of my favorite shows ever. The most recent episodes are the best episodes they've ever done. They're so good, the ones on Paramount. So I immediately went and watched it. And like I've watched more SNL than most people have in the last like 8 or 9 years. Heidi Gardner does not crack up. She does not break, and she couldn't handle it. There's no way they showed her those prosthetics beforehand.
No. She did an interview and said that like she'd kind of seen it beforehand, but not like full makeup. And then when Mikey Day like did the smile and everything, like it really highlighted it. But she did do an interview saying like she kind of knew what was coming, but once she actually saw it, it still just lost it.
And Keenan didn't crack at all.
No.
He's the
No.
only person in the whole segment.
Because he's been doing
Made
it
it.
since he's like 10 years old. He's been doing
Yeah.
these sketch comedies.
If I had to say favorite 90s, I mean, The Simpsons, if that counts. I don't know if we got to go with live action because there were a lot of them. There were so many of them. Probably Married with Children, though. I like that.
Okay. All right.
I like that. That was a part of the Fox block, the Fox
Yeah.
Sunday block with The Simpsons.
I mean,
And,
listen,
and then remember when
I'm just saying-
WB made their version Unhappily Ever After?
I was about to say that. I liked Unhappily Ever After. I was more of a Fox and WB type of person than that. And listen, you had to keep your eye on people who watch Fox and WB. Like, listen, I'm not going to say that they'd be into some bad stuff, but they might steal some things here and there. I might be of risk to steal a few things.
It is outing.
Watching Unhappily Ever After and Married with Children. Yeah.
With the bunny.
Yes. But also Christina Applegate is like my favorite actress of all time. So I think she's criminally underrated.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead is one of my all-time favorite 90s movies.
What was the movie she was in with Cameron Diaz?
The Sweetest
Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good movie. Cameron Diaz, super underrated.
I always thought she was overrated.
Wow. Wow.
Always thought she was overrated. I mean, speaking of great Christina Applegate shows, Dead to Me is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, the writing in season 1 is some of the best writing that I've ever seen. And it was particularly, I don't know, it was almost disheartening because it was that terrible era of WWE. Meanwhile, I'm watching Dead to Me at the same time of the worst WWE stuff. And Dead to Me is getting over a character that isn't even on the screen. Like, they're making you feel emotions about a person who you never see. Meanwhile, I see the same characters on Raw every week in 2019. And I just want them all to suffer on the show because it's so bad.
Well,
2019 WWE was not a good time.
No, 2019 WWE was
that supercut somebody made was really good. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see this.
Oh, it's very good.
People say like WCW 2000 is the worst, and like it's really bad. But like it's so bad that it's comical to me.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, WWE 2019 was just god awful stuff. That like there wasn't even funny unintentionally. It's just like, nah, this just sucks.
Well, the thing was, somebody had to make it about AEW. They go,
of course,
we could put together a super cut with Marco Stunt and the Dark Order goblins and all that stuff. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. We're talking about an extra on the Dark Order that they quickly got rid of. Marco Stunt rules. I don't know what y'all are talking about. The super cut of WWE was like, here's Goldberg beating The Fiend. Here's Cain Velasquez.
That actually ruled. Come on now.
Here's Roman Reigns getting dog food put on him.
Okay, that's
here's the Roman Reigns attack with the twin Eric Rowan. These were the best storylines that they had.
The entire Roman Reigns in 2019 when he returned and he returned is getting cheered for the first time as being a babyface. And you give him a lackluster rivalry with Drew McIntyre. Follow that up. He's feuding with Shane McMahon for like 4 months
Best
in that year.
Shane McMahon.
And losing to Shane McMahon on pay-per-view.
This is the good stuff here. Come on now. No, Shane McMahon, best in the world.
And what people don't realize is that 2019 was just a culmination because 2017 is not that good. 2018 ain't that good.
Goldberg beating The Fiend's an all-time moment. I don't care what anybody says.
I covered it. It was bad.
We did that post show with you. You got mad at me.
My whole wrestling podcast career started in 2017 in the middle of Jinder Mahal, WWE champion. I was like, oh my God. I was like, take me somewhere.
People try to pretend it's good. Occasionally you'll see people say, he got a bad rap. He forgot how to do his finisher on TV.
Don't hinder Jinder. That's the people who thought it was good. Is they're like, oh, Jinder, don't hinder him. It wasn't as bad as he thought. It's like, nah, people who lived through it. It wasn't actually good. See,
it was worse. It was worse than we thought.
Yeah.
Because now we know what the good stuff looks like again.
We got a Punjabi prison match out of it, though. Wasn't good.
So GCW did one of those last week.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that thing was PC pipe and duct tape prison.
Okay, it was more of like a Punjabi detainment match than a prison match.
Not a prison per se. Oh man, it was so bad. 2017, 2018. I was there at WrestleMania 34, which was like a WrestleMania of two halves. Having a great old time. Ronda Rousey debuted, and then the misery that was Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at the end.
Oh man.
Yeah, but Brock threw the title in the backstage, and that kind of.
I wish I could have saw that. That was
Yeah.
more entertaining.
Yeah, that kind
I
of.
should probably write a full story on that, but that's because he was supposed to lose and he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I heard
They
some
changed-
more about that recently. He wanted to go home. That's why he was mad.
Fair.
And Vince was like, I guess the day of decided, nope, you're winning. Woof. Woof.
'Cause that was
Anyway, I'm
supposed
about to
be
go
the
film for
end-
Wrestle Talk. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Sean.
Bye, Sean.
Great appearance. No comment. Some of that stuff you guys were talking about, some of that stuff was hilarious, though. See, I'm all for the hilarity, even if it's bad. Gender wasn't good. See, Gender was like.
I think I entertained people with my outrage to all those things at the time. It was entertaining. I had the whole 2017 when I started True Hill Heat. It was the hashtag WWE booking in 2017. I started that hashtag because it was just like the worst decisions. It's like Gender's champion. What other stuff they had going on? The Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton stuff.
Oh, that ruled.
With the House of Horrors
That
and
ruled.
the bugs on the mat. I was like the only person who was happy Randy Orton won that matchup because I made a bet with everyone I went to WrestleMania with that Orton was going to win because everybody thought Bray was going to win. I was like, nah, they'll probably have Orton.
Dude, the maggots on the mat, that was hilarious. That was so funny. I'll forever pop for everything Bray Wyatt did. Win or lose, I'll pop for all of his shit. Everyone now, that RIP Bray Wyatt, everyone buried him at the time. And now they're all like, oh, he's such a creative genius. He thought outside I was saying that shit when he was still here. Well, all
So
you
you loved this. You're still disappointed. You still think about it 7 years later that you never got the Demon Finn Balor versus Sister Abigail.
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me?
I feel you. I still think about that shit. I do. I was like, yo, what would have that 2017 TLC card would have been if everybody didn't get sick?
Everything with Bray was hilarious to me. Everything. It all ruled.
Hey, yeah, we got Finn and AJ. That was one of the best matches that year. But yeah, but what would have that card would have been like? We would have got Shield versus Miz, Braun, Dolph, and Drew, or something like that.
People
I don't
didn't
know.
Appreciate Bray Wyatt when he was still around.
No, I think Braun, Drew, and Dolph was the year after. It was very confusing with how many Shield reunions they had in those years. 2017, 2018, 2019.
All of Bray stuff ruled. Although I do agree with the decision to lose the title to Goldberg because that was hilarious as well.
That was awful.
That was hilarious.
That was really, really bad.
They built up this man as some unstoppable monster who felt no pain, and then Goldberg came in and it's like,
man,
spear jackhammer. See you later.
The Bray Firefly Funhouse stuff, the first couple of weeks, that got people back into wrestling again in 2019.
Yeah, people love that.
People love that Firefly Funhouse. That was when I first got with my missus, and that was the stuff we were watching of wrestling together. We was watching the Bray stuff.
That was all good. Everything Bray did was fantastic. People wanted to bury the Mountain Dew stuff. Like, no, this rules.
No, Kaden, I know who was in that matchup eventually, but the original matchup was supposed to be the Shield versus 3 of the guys. They only added all the people because Roman got sick.
Wilchism says Vince made Jinder say something racist about Shinsuke Nakamura, talking about his eyes. Vince made a lot of people say a lot of racist things. Just, Chad Gable turned heel. Charles Barkley's gonna whoop his ass. What'd you think of this heel turn by old Gable?
I thought the matchup between Gable and Sami Zayn was excellent. Excellent matchup. Those two guys were just dropping each other on each other's heads like a New Japan Pro Wrestling main event. That last German that Sammy gave to Gable, where he landed on the back of his head and it looked like he broke his neck. That was vicious. I like the story of the matchup with Gable going after the leg and Sammy having to fight from underneath, which he excels at. And in the end, it was just Gable being too thirsty to get the ankle lock. He walks into the exploder, a Luva kick, 1, 2, 3. I like the dejection on his face, the tears in his eyes. Post-match, him begrudgingly raising Sammy's hand. And then I love the turn because it's like he's hugging his wife and he gets German out of his wife's hands. That is a great phrase to say. That is great that you could say that. And then the ankle lock over the turnbuckle and then the ankle lock in the ring. It was just really well done. And once again, like I said with Liv Morgan, there's a much higher ceiling of Chad Gable, unhinged, Kurt Angle heel instead of plucky underdog babyface or Chad Gable, whose height and peak was 6 months ago because they did a nice little rivalry with Gunther that got him over, and then they put him on a Viking Raiders treadmill for 6 months. Like, it was over after that. It was never going to be the guy who should have ended Gunther's title reign after they did that. They had to regroup, and they're putting them back on a better path, especially because of the little red herring we got before the matchup with the little great interview they did with the sports presentation with him working out in the ring with who? Not Otis and Tozawa, the Creeds, the new Team Gable. Team Gable, the Creeds, and Chad Gable as a heel faction. Book it.
Poor Otis and Tozawa. They trusted that man, and he just left them behind. Maxine trusted him, left her. Ivy Nile. Maybe Ivy Nile can join up with the Creeds and him. Maybe they can do that, but just trusted him, and he just turned back on them. Very sad. Why wasn't he training with Otis and Tozawa? Those are his students. Those are the people he should have been loyal to. No loyalty in the game.
Hey, I don't explain no friendship. They wasn't there for him. He needed to train right there and then, and they wasn't there.
Too busy doing hot dog or Philly cheesesteak and pizza eating contest, I guess.
Hey, maybe Tozawa, he's still eating now.
Well, Otis was in it. He lost. What just happened? Why did Austin Reeves just show up?
I had a kid running, so I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. What are the kids' thoughts on Chad Gable being mean to Sami Zayn?
Oh, they only watch X-Men. They don't watch wrestling.
Wow, you don't let your kids watch wrestling?
No, I do let my kids watch wrestling. My daughter mostly likes the women's wrestling.
Oh. Our 12 kids, they think Cody Rhodes is Joe Biden, which is hilarious.
They think he's the president of the United States? What?
Like this guy, they don't think he's like actually Joe Biden. But like this guy reminds me a lot of Joe Biden. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Old dude who doesn't shut up, just plays both sides. So yeah, makes sense.
Who do they think this is?
They don't care about basketball. Are you kidding me? They don't care at all about basketball. I tried to actually they care a little bit. They were watching oh man. The wife isn't watching this episode. So I can tell this story. The way nobody clipped this. I was watching I did my brain malfunction.
It's all right. It's all right.
I was watching the Thunder game against the Knicks, right? That was a few weeks ago. And one of the kids like loves New York. Just loves New York. Anything New York, it's like, I love New York. Everything associated to New York. Like we got like tall buildings here. It's like, it's New York. Like it's not, but okay. You know, Taylor Swift song, Welcome to New York, favorite song. You know which one I'm talking about, SP3. You've met the kids.
Well, why would you do a song called Welcome to New York? But okay.
Taylor Swift did that. This is a while ago.
I don't know why she would do that, but okay.
She moved to New York.
Oh, she moved there.
This was
Oh,
this was the 1989 album SP3. Keep up.
Nah, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I never watched Seventh Heaven.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, kid loves New York, right? So the Thunder are playing the Knicks, and of course it says like New York at the bottom of the screen, and like she's actively rooting for the Knicks, and like cheering. She doesn't care about basketball at all. Doesn't care at all about basketball. And I'm like, you got to stop. You cannot root against my team right now. Like, you just got to stop. And then Shea hits the game winner, and I was really hype. And kid was mad that like New York lost. But like trying to talk to me during the game as while the game's going on. It was a close competitive game and everything. And like just trying to talk to me, rooting against my team. Oh man.
Knicks tape.
No, the wife had to go like leave Jeremy be. Just he's way too invested in this stupid sports game. Leave him be. He does not have time for your love for New York when you can't name a single player on the Knicks. You can't name a player on the team. You're not allowed to root for the team.
That's a fair rule.
The wife tried to do this too. I'm just gonna air out all dirty laundry. So
air it all out.
So like the Thunder, I want your opinion on this, SP3.
Okay.
So the Thunder in the playoffs, first seed. The Cavaliers in the playoffs, 4th seed. They're gonna lose in the first round. But if the Cavs, for somehow, some way, play the Thunder in the finals, let's hypothetically throw this out there. The wife is like, oh yeah, I'm going to root for Cleveland.
Okay.
Because I'm like, why? Huh? No. She's like, oh, I have to. I'm from here. Like, I grew up, like, watching the Cavs, and, you know, my parents are Cavs fans. They love Cleveland. I cheered for them in 2016 with LeBron. I was like, great. Name me a single player on this Cavaliers team. And she can't do it. And I'm like, you can't root for the Cavs against my team. You got to root for my happiness. What are we doing here?
She can root for her home state, her home.
She can't name a player on the team, SP3.
So what? That's okay. She can name the team.
If you can't name a single player on the team, I don't think you are allowed to root for that team.
No,
am I crazy?
If you don't live in the state that your team is in, then yeah, if you can't name a player, then you're not a fan of that team. But if you're from the state, you're born and raised in the state or the city of the team, yes, you can root for them without knowing any of the players.
No, if you can't name a single player, I don't care where you're from. If you can't name a player on the team, you're not allowed to root for that team.
She's going to learn the names when she starts rooting.
No, she's not.
Yes, she will.
No, she's not. Because she's not going to watch. She's not going to watch game 1 on NBA TV between the Cavaliers and the Magic on Saturday or Sunday, whenever the game is. I don't know. Who cares? It's the 4-5 in the East. Who could possibly care about this matchup? She's not going to watch this game.
The NBA TV series.
She's not going to watch this game. Meanwhile, my Thunder are playing. During the middle of AEW Dynasty, and I'm not going to care at all about AEW Dynasty. I'm going to have the Thunder game on. She's not with you shooting in the gym, you know? Like, what are we doing here?
Respect. I respect it. I respect your anger, but I also get where she's coming from.
No.
Yes.
Why Sullivan saying so? By that same logic, if you can name players from other teams, do you have to root for those? No. Like, if you can name players from other teams, it means like you're just knowledgeable about that. She doesn't have to root for the Thunder. She knows a couple players on the Thunder because I talk about them. She doesn't have to root for the Thunder. But she should be rooting for my happiness over a team she can't name players for. If she could name players on the Cavs, I'd be like, you know what? Fine. You're kind of sort of a Cavs fan, even though you've watched 0 seconds of Cavaliers basketball this year. But you can name a couple of players. I'll let it slide if you're going to root for the Cavs. But like, no. You can't name any players.
This is this is fair. I get where you're coming from. I don't agree with you, but I get where you're coming from.
Will Chisholm says, I don't know how TNT feels about Charles putting over WWE, but he works for the same company that shows EW. Okay, AEW. I guess he doesn't care about them. I don't think TNT really cares, honestly. I mean, he's on the McAfee show, you know? Like, McAfee works for WWE. So I don't think TNT doesn't really give a shit what Charles Barkley does. I kind of promise you that. Like, they ain't gonna chastise Charles Barkley and be like, you know, Charles, we're also the home of AEW. Maybe you should talk about John Moxley and Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay and promote AEW Dynamite.
He was like, I'm gonna promote the matchup that Shaq had with Cody and Jay Cargill. Okay. I'm sorry, Charles. They actually work with WWE still. Oh, okay.
Charles is gonna be like, okay, give a shit. Like, I'm gonna keep doing whatever I do. That show is lawless on TNT. You think they care about his media appearances and what he says? Charles is like an untouchable entity to Turner. Like, completely untouchable entity.
He got probably a grandfather contract.
Yeah. They don't care what he has to say. They don't care what he has to say. I'm sure fans might get mad about it, but look, you got to understand like who Charles Barkley is and where, you know, where he is in the echelon of Turner.
He's like right below Shaq. Shaq is probably number one on there.
You think so? Nah, Barkley's been there longer.
Doesn't matter. Shaq is bigger. Shaq is bigger.
Well,
Shaq got Shaq got 2
2
seasons of his show. Charles got canceled after 9 episodes. So I'm sorry. It's the perception, but perception can be reality. And yes, it is what it is.
Maybe. I think Ernie's got them both beat.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Because
we're in agreement there. Kenny is at the bottom. For sure.
Kenny's definitely at the
bottom. No one cares about that. No one cares about Kenny, unfortunately. But going back to the Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, I absolutely love that entrance by Sami Zayn. That was probably the kind of the grand masterpiece of Lee Fitting, executive producer, was that's the shooting and the production on that entrance on Monday of Sami Zayn.
It was a very cool entrance. I don't sound like I'm hating here because I'm not.
You are.
It is amazing that it's just one long tracking shot. You know what I mean?
It's a one shot.
Yeah. We have all been so used to the WWE style for so long, and it's been the same production shit for so long that like one long tracking shot, it's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yo,
like, I'm not mad at it. It was a great shot. It ruled.
It's simple stuff. It's literally like what Daredevil did to like the superhero genre.
Yeah.
Of those one shots they were doing on the Daredevil Netflix series was like, oh my god, it's so new. No, they're just keeping the camera rolling. That's really all they're doing. It's very simple what they're doing, but it's different from what it was before. Right. What we saw from superhero shows like that, and that's what they're doing right now with WWE with their production. And you know, you had even people like Romeo and True. He thinks that they're going to get an Emmy for this for their production now.
I don't think they're ever going to get that.
I was like.
It is astounding that, like, you know, the Vince Dunn era, I think that's like a football player or a hockey player or Vince Dunn sounds like a baseball player actually. But like that era was so much of the same stuff, from booking, from finishes to production, that like the lowest bar, if it gets jumped over, we're all like, yeah, wait a second. You did a match without a DQ? You gave us a clean finish? Fucking right. Let's go.
Let's go. This actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. Triple H will make sure to tell you about how amazing it is, by the way.
Yes. Triple H has been doing hop and skips and jumps over the bar in the center of the universe that Vince set for him. And it's amazing how people have like complimented it so much.
Look, it's good to see after seeing this stuff for so long. Like, it's great to see. Like, again, that shot ruled, absolutely ruled. I loved it. And it being in Montreal, obviously, was a good way to like pull it off and stuff because Sammy's not getting that reaction, that kind of like love and just overall support anywhere else. I loved, you know what shot I actually really loved, maybe not more than that entrance. The long shot of Jey Uso when the crowd's doing the yeeting
That
everywhere.
was good.
Like, I love that shot. One, because like it's just a cool shot, but two, again, the bar was so low. We're so used to the entire top section being tarped off that like it's actually cool to see, oh shit, there's fans up there. This is great. This is fantastic that we actually have fans up there and they're all into the show as well. Like, I love that shot. That's a really cool shot to me. So yeah, like all the shots, it's great. I love to see it. I don't want to go too crazy that like this is the greatest thing of all time. It's really cool to see in wrestling.
Yeah.
Let's not act like they're reinventing the wheel here.
No, they're just doing stuff different, which is nice. It's refreshing, and I think that's why people are so excited about that. So, yeah, that was like the main things from Monday Night Raw this week. I think the only other heel turn we had was Indy Hartwell. She turned heel and joined up with Candice. As we want.
Candice, they dropped the ball on that.
And oh yeah, thanks, Paul, for watching In the Weeds on Monday, because it's a shame for fame lost her head.
No one could fucking hear it because the crowd sound was so bad.
Yeah, it was so bad. Shame this man that had lost his head. Too many limes. Oh, it's a power true, and I'll make you believe.
Couldn't hear it. I was like, oh shit, it is too many limes. It's a shameful thing that they missed the intro of the song because the crowd mixing was so bad.
It's a shameful thing. Lobster head.
Good to see Sheamus back.
Yeah, he looked good in his old gear too, and it was very appropriate to give him Ivar, big meaty men slapping meat. That's the way Sheamus should come back.
Yeah. We got Dynamite tonight. I just saw a quote from the Jacksons saying they have zero regrets about the footage. Obviously, Tony Khan, great question, zero regrets. Thought it made a whole lot of sense. Okay.
Okay. The Young Bucks will be on tonight's show, teaming up with Kazuchika Okada to face Pat.
Hold on. Well, I have to run down the card. Just what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Anything else? Daniel Garcia and Penta. Will Ospreay and Claudio Castagnoli. That should be an absolute banger. I'm very interested on where on the card that's going to be, whether that's going to be the opener or the main event. It's either going to be one or the other, in my opinion. But
I think it probably opens. I think Joe and Swerve beat the shit out of each other in the main event. I know they're supposed to speak, but I assume the speaking leads to fighting.
I mean, it should after the last couple of weeks have. So that's the hottest program that they got, and you do want to have a strong go home segment for them. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that being in the main event spot. Deonna Purrazzo and Mariah May, that should be good. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this show more than the last 2 weeks of Dynamite.
Well, everybody, we got a great show for you tonight on AEW Dynamite at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. We are going to kick things off with a dream match. It is going to be Will Ospreay, days away from facing Bryan Danielson at AEW Dynasty on pay-per-view. He is going to be taking on another member of the Blackpool Combat Club. He's going to be taking on Claudio Castagnoli. That's right, Will Ospreay, Claudio Castagnoli. It's going to be Don Callis family against Blackpool Combat Club, and it's only going to be live 8 p.m. Eastern, live tonight on AEW Dynamite, live on TBS 8 p.m. Eastern, just days away from AEW Dynasty, live only on pay-per-view. Plus, in the mixed tag team division, that's a new division that we're starting. Don't worry, we'll have rankings for this. I promise you we're going to have rankings. It's going to be Adam Copeland teaming up with Willow Nightingale to take on House of Black members Julia Hart, the AEW TBS champion Julia Hart, and Brody King, members of the House of Black, just days away before Willow Nightingale challenges Julia Hart for the AEW TBS Championship, live only on pay-per-view on AEW Dynasty. It's going to be Adam Copeland and Willow Nightingale live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, AEW Dynamite, only on TBS. Adam Copeland, Willow Nightingale, taking on House of Black members Julia Hart, Brody King. Watch them tonight in mixed tag team action, live 8 p.m. Eastern on AEW Dynamite on TBS. Before you watch them live on Sunday night, April 21st at AEW Dynasty, only on pay-per-view. Plus, we're going to have Chris Jericho. He's going to broker a meeting with Hook and Taz. I don't know why I booked this. Get lost in the Jericho vortex with Chris Jericho brokering a meeting between Hook and Taz. Also, in the women's division, we have Deonna Purrazzo taking on Mariah May. You won't want to miss this. It's a pivotal class in the AEW women's division. Who will win? Tune in live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, AEW Dynamite, live only on TBS to see who will move up in the women's division rankings, the rankings. I promise we're going to get back to the rankings. Plus, we're going to have the Elite. It's going to be Kazuchika Okada, Matthew, and Nicholas Jackson, just days away from their big matches at AEW Dynasty live only on pay-per-view this Sunday, April 21st. They're going to be in trios action against Pac, Daniel Garcia, and Penta El Zero Miedo. That's right, it's the Elite, Okada, and the Young Bucks taking on Pac, Daniel Garcia, Penta El Zero Miedo, live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on AEW Dynamite, only on TBS. And we got some talking segments, even though this is where the best wrestle. This is also where the best speak, and we're going to hear from the best. We're going to hear from the Monet CEO. We're going to hear from Mercedes Moné, who attacked her last week. The lights went out and she was attacked. Who did it? Who had done it? Find out live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, live only on TBS, only on AEW Dynamite, only at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to hear from the CEO, Mercedes Moné, and ahead of their AEW World title match at AEW Dynasty. We're going to hear from the AEW World Champion, Samoa Joe, and we're going to hear from the top challenger, Swerve Strickland. They're going to both speak. What will they have to say? The only way to find out is to watch live, 8 p.m. Eastern, on AEW Dynamite, only on TBS. You will hear them speak live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, TBS, AEW Dynamite. And if you want to see them wrestle, if you want to see where the best wrestle, if you want to see Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, all of them, if you want to see where the best wrestle, you can watch it live this Sunday, AEW Dynasty, only on pay-per-view. And speaking of where the best wrestle, Jon Moxley returns to AEW Dynamite as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. What will Jon Moxley have to say? You won't want to miss what he has to say live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS, only on AEW Dynamite. Jon Moxley, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Only the best wrestle in AEW. We're the best wrestle, and you can watch them all wrestle live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on AEW Dynamite, only on TBS. And you can watch more great of Where the Best Wrestle live this Sunday, April 21st, only on pay-per-view, AEW Dynasty. I promise all the great AEW fans, it is going to be the best AEW Dynasty we've ever put on. Order it now, only on pay-per-view, AEW Dynasty this Sunday. Only on pay-per-view, everybody. We're the best wrestle. Thank you to all the great AEW fans. Thank you to the great best wrestling fans in the world. AEW fans, justified. This is awesome, chants.
Wow. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? What a performance.
That's every week. That's every week, SP3.
You do this every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday. Watch the product. Watch the product. I was very concerned about the vein in my eye too.
I don't know how I followed that. 3 3/4, man. That's really good. It's really good.
Will Chisholm says he's looking forward to another Mercedes promo. Well, you're gonna get a lot of them because she's not wrestling until May, so you're gonna get a lot of promos.
Because money changes everything.
Thank you, Auntie Collins. Appreciate it. Come the wrestling chat. Stay for Jeremy's impressions. Oh man! No, I didn't mean to pop it back up. I always gotta like take a nap after that. That's it right down.
Well done.
I blow my voice out every single week doing that. Every single week.
I'm quite impressed. Quite impressed.
It's tougher on pay-per-view weeks because I got to plug the pay-per-view. I'll plug the pay-per-view on Friday.
So Friday? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Friday.
That's good. I got something to look forward to on Friday.
I'll do a big pay-per-view rundown for Friday. All right, everybody. I don't know. We'll be back on Friday. Thanks, everyone.
We barely talked about wrestling, so this is the best
Good.
episode yet.
Good. It's much better when we don't talk about
They're
wrestling.
teasing the Wyatt family coming back, Jeremy, as well. We got a QR
codes
code.
and shit. Yeah.
We got QR codes.
That's cool.
Who do you think's going to be in the new Wyatt family before we let the people go?
I don't know.
It's going to be Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, Alexa Bliss,
Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy, he's a free agent, and Joe Gacy.
Oh, Joe Gacy. I thought you were about to say Joakim Noah, which would be much more hilarious. Joakim Noah in the Wyatt family is what we need.
Hey, we don't need a Wyatt 6, make it 7. Joakim Noah.
It's the nicest thing anybody has ever said to me. SP3, do you want to plug in anything?
Check out my wrestling YouTube channel, True Hill Heat, where the crew and I talk about everything wrestling, WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Right now, we got our Collision review that's up for Collision Discourse for AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts 10. We'll have a watch along later for AEW Dynamite starting at 8 p.m. And then join me live tomorrow over there, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, for the best Dynamite review in all of wrestling YouTube. Me and Jimmy Rackaram, AE Ramble.
New episode of the Spotlight tomorrow. We have Cole Radrick on. For some reason, he's back on our show. I don't know why. I thought I banned him forever. We'll be back on Friday. Everybody,
watch X-Men 97 before then, because we'll spend like we'll spend like a half an hour to an hour.
Yeah. I honestly, yeah. Everyone watch X-Men 97 between now and Friday, because that's all we're talking about on Friday. Gives a fuck about wrestling. And the East play-in games between the Heat and the Sixers. And I guess we'll preview the play-in games for Friday as well.
We should also mention someone died on NXT yesterday. Someone got whacked by Tony D'Angelo. Some guy that doesn't know.